Okay, guys, can we just take a minute and talk about the new Georgia voting law? Okay? Because there's a lot going around the media. Almost every media outlet you see has nonstop, since this thing has been passed, hammered in that this is a racist, suppressive new legislation, and it's not. Okay? Can we all just acknowledge this? Can we all just stop buying into the media narrative for once? This is absolutely not the case. In fact, this is a law that honestly should have been passed a long time ago. Okay? I've read articles from probably 10 different media sources, including the Washington Post, the New York Times, ABC News, all the major outlets you can think of, and every single one. The top headline is New Georgia Suppression Law or Racist Voter Law. It's not racist to want photo IDs or to prohibit the giving out of food and water, which, by the way, it doesn't even prohibit that. Let's keep that in mind. It prohibits you to offer you food and water or other things within so many feet of a polling place. Okay, in other words, like campaigners can't hand you things or free stuff, that sort of thing. It doesn't just ban food and water. And if you're thirsty or hungry, bring something with you. Okay, it's not that hard. The other thing is, it does not restrict voting. In fact, it extends in-person early voting exponentially. Joe Biden, he lies about this. He's lied about this new legislation a lot. In his recent press conference, he was Pinocchioed 4 times by the Washington Post. 4 times. Okay, he was blatantly lying. Everything he said wasn't true. In Joe Biden's home state of Delaware, there is stricter voting laws. There isn't any early in-person voting, and there are no absentee ballot boxes. In Georgia, this new law requires at least 1 ballot box per county. How is that restrictive? And it extends the early in-person voting. How is that restrictive? I'm not getting this. And the other thing is Joe Biden endorsing large companies like Coca-Cola and the MLB to leave Georgia. How is that at all pro the black community? How does that help the black community? Do you know what Georgia is? Especially Atlanta, where the All-Star game was going to be. Atlanta has a population around roughly 56% black. Okay? Atlanta is a commerce center for black businesses. It's huge. It's like the Black Wall Street. Okay? The MLB alone, just not even the other companies, the MLB moving is taking around $100 million in revenue away from Atlanta, which is a mostly black community. I mean, you're trying hard to be pro, Black Lives Matter, because that's what that's who this law is suppressing, right? So you're trying to be pro Black Lives Matter by moving from one of the biggest black, I guess you could say hubs, one of the biggest black communities in the country, to Denver. Guess what the black population in Denver is? Around 9%, something like that. And the white population? 76%. 76. That is insane. That is insane. It's basically doing the opposite. You're not helping the black community or sticking up for black voters. You're hurting a black community. You're taking millions in dollars of revenue away from a black business hub. It is literally the Black Wall Street that they're hurting. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And now that he's been Pinocchioed, he's walking back, or the Democrats are walking back some of these outrageous things that they're saying, because now they're losing support. Okay, they're chasing people off with this woke ridiculousness, this cancel culture. Okay, especially when you're caught lying. and not even Jen Psaki could cover Biden on this one. I don't have the clip to play on here, but she did a very poor job of explaining this. I think her answer was really along the lines of, well, Joe he wasn't really talking about the bill being racist. It was more, he just made the comment that it doesn't make it easier to vote in Georgia when it literally does. And no, that is not what Joe was saying. Joe was following Stacey Abrams in shouting that it is a racist Jim Crow 2.0 when it is actually the furthest thing from it. If anything, this calling for the boycotting of a state, boycotting of democracy, if anything, that is Jim Crow, because that is literally what Jim Crow was. So we all just need to look at this for what it is. It is not racist to require photo IDs. It is not immoral, okay? It is not racist to make it a crime to offer things such as food and water within so many feet of a polling place. In fact, that's a pretty common law. Where I live, that's a law. It is not racist to extend in-person early voting or to make absentee ballot boxes an option. Still an option. That really became a big thing recently because of COVID. Obviously, mostly people from the Democratic side didn't want to vote in person, so they have the absentee ballot boxes. This new law left those in place. Places like Delaware, where Joe is from, that's not an option anymore. That's not part of their voting rules, but it stayed in Georgia. This isn't a racist law. It's not.